Hello and welcome. In this video, you will be learning how to design a reinforced concrete slab using manual method in Protastructure 2022 version. Originally in Protastructure, we have three methods of reinforced concrete slab design. We have the analytical method, we have the FE, which is the finite element method, and the last one is the manual method. So you will be learning the manual method. And then the manual method is normally or mostly used to design slab on grade. Okay, so this is slab on grade, and so let us look at how slab on grade in real life actually looks. Okay, all right. So this is the reinforcement setup for slab on grade. Okay, so it all depends on your design spacing successfully. And so after the setup, there must be a ground preparations before you set out the reinforcement according to the spacing you design it, and after which you can now start to pour a reinforcement. So this is the reinforcement we are going to be designing using our product structure, and we are doing it manually because slab on grade reinforcement design cannot be done analytically actually, because the slab is weightless. Okay, because it's resting directly on the soil successfully. So we are going to be looking at this successfully, a special method to do this. So stick to the video. Let us dive into the presentations. So here we go. But before we proceed, here is our freezing channel. The first set of our students have just completed their training successfully, and they are very much happy. And then we are receiving the next set of students to be trained successfully. So here we train young civil engineers on the structural analysis and design up to expert level with steel and concrete successfully. Okay, so you can as well join our training. Okay. And so if you check in the description of this video, there's most of our materials in the description of this video, so you can check them out, like the templates for concrete building design and as well as steel design, also in the description of this video. Let us make progress, and then we navigate to the modeling tab. I want to be showing you something at this moment. So I'll click on these slab strips right there. So in this slab strips dialog, you see in the general provisions we have the direction, which is the X and Y directions. Okay, so we draw our strips or reinforcement in both X and Y directions. Okay, and this number you see here is the number of strips. Okay, so we have type of strips right here. You can see analytical strips or analytical method of drawing a slab strips, which is the reinforcement. Okay, so if you select in this small arrow provisions, you have the FA strips, okay, which is finite element strips, right? And then we have the manual strips right there. Okay, so we are going to be considering manual strips. Okay, so I will show you in this video how to use manual strips to design both top and bottom reinforcement, and as well only bottom reinforcement, or depending on the spacing, you are going to learn it in this video successfully. Okay, so let's make progress. I want to be closing this, and then I will have to navigate to the plan view of this structure. Okay, here is the plan view. I will navigate my grid lines to the story one right there. So I double click on story one. So here are the slabs we are going to be designing. Okay, so before you start designing a reinforced concrete slab, you should have to know the full length of a reinforcement. Okay, so for full length of reinforcement is always 12 meters, and that is what Protastructure is actually using. Mind you, we are using Protastructure 2022. All right, so for you to design this, okay, since this is a large structure, if you zoom closely, you can see over here we have 75 meters. Okay, length. Okay, and then over to the width we have it to be 40 meters right here, which is 40,000 millimeters. Okay, and if you check closely, you notice I have an expansion joint during the design of this large steel warehouse. Successfully we have a two expansion joint right there. Okay, so we are going to be designing this panel of this slab. Okay, successfully, and the same thing will be applicable to this panel and this panel. When you are designing panel by panel, or you separated a panel with an expansion joint, so you are supposed to have a continuations or reinforcement, okay, all through the panels successfully. I'll be showing you all of that in this video. Go nowhere, and then we get started. So at first we will navigate to the modeling tab right there, and then get to the slab strips right there. Okay, so in the slab strips, okay, we have to navigate to the type. Okay, we are maybe going in the X direction, so the direction we are going is very important. You have to either select this, which is the Y, or you select this, which is the X directions. All right, so we are going in the X direction, and then the number is going to be 1. So this is going to be automatic. If you draw the first one, the next one you're going to draw is going to be numbered as number 2, which is the strips number 2. So come to the type, provisions, select right here, click on manual strips. So once you click on manual strip, you can now see another tab named manual right here. Okay, so in the manual tab, you will see we have the top steel, we have the bottom steel right there. Okay, so basically slab on grade, we normally design it as we normally only top bottom bar right there. Okay, because it's not carrying any load. Okay, it is when it is actually carrying loads. Okay, that is when we design it sometime based on analytical result, which we use finite element analysis. Because if you use analytical method or type, okay, of analysis for any slab on grade, okay, it's not going to work. All right, so in that case we use FE strips, okay, like for floating raft and raft on beam. Okay, all of these are substructure. They are located beneath the soil, so you use FE method of analysis, okay, and not analytical. Analytical is to use for suspended slab. All right, so let us make progress. So let's get back to the manual tab right there. Okay, so you have the top steel right there, and then we have this bulb, and we have left, we have right, you have left extensions, right extensions, you have quantity, diameter, and then we have spacing. All right, that is for the top reinforcement or top steel. The same thing applicable to the bottom steel. So I will be explaining all of this as we make progress in these presentations. Okay, so you may not necessarily want to design for top and bottom, but I want to show you, if should in case you want to design for top and bottom, the first thing you have to do is to know which of the slab edge is continuous or discontinuous, because this bulb you've seen here, we are going to apply it accordingly on which of the slab edge is continuous. Okay, so if bulb simply means outside discontinuity. Okay, so if you select here, I'm trying to tell the program that my left hand side of this particular slab is discontinuous. Okay, which my left hand side is not discontinuous. So I'll uncheck that. If I check here, simply mean my right hand side is discontinuous. Okay, so the reinforcement is going to be returned once you get to this edge, because you have already allowed the software to detect that to your left is discontinuous, so it's going to be returned successfully. Okay, so if you wouldn't want it to return, you can as well uncheck this provision. So that is the function of this bulb, left and right. Okay, so for the extension, just like you are to get extension to the left, like the first left extension, you have to get extension to the left, like the lap length. Okay, the lap length, it could be 600. Okay, 600. So if you are to have a kind of continuity, just like in this provisions where you have an expansion joint, there must be a continuity. So there's supposed to be a kind of a lap length that you'll be given to the reinforcement successfully. So the program is going to automatically incorporate this into the full length of bar, which is 12 meters, to ensure that there is a proper continuity, okay, as you carry out your design successfully. All right, so after which we have the right extension, which is the same functions. Okay, then the quantity is going to be automatic. You don't need to bother yourself about that. Okay, and then you come to the diameter. Okay, so this is slab on grade, so it all depends. You may be able to use 12, white 12, white 16 for the design, but for the sake of this design, we'll be considering white 8. Okay, so after which you get to this spacing. All right, so you can consider your spacing to be 300. Okay, so you key in 300 radian millimeters as your spacing. So it all depends on your design as well. So the same thing is applicable to the bottom bar. All right, so once you're done with your settings successfully, okay, so bottom and top bar may not necessarily have the same spacing, so it all depends on your design. That is why this is manual. Okay, so you can actually make changes depending on your own step. All right, so if I should have this as my changes, I get back to the general tab right there, and then I check out the I have to check the direction I'm going. All right, so having checked the direction I'm going, I may be able to take it to Y directions. So if I take it to Y directions, come over to these provisions, you will notice in the Y directions, which is the vertical directions, we have both ends of the reinforced concrete slab to be discontinuous. So you have to check here and check here, and as well as check here and check here. Now if you are designing for both top and bottom, all right, but we are to be designing for just bottom reinforcement, so we really need top reinforcement because this is just a weightless slab which is not carrying much load apart from human traffic load, okay, within this within this area of this warehouse successfully. Okay, but I want to show you this as an example. So if you have selected all of this, what you just have to do, you can pick outside here at first, and then take your hand upward. Make sure your hand is straight. If you cannot straight it, just hold the control key, and then you have a straight line. Just click. So once you click, give it some time. I have already clicked and it's loading. You can now see reinforcement has been generated successfully. So if you zoom closely, you can now see the spacing. Okay, this is spacing 300, and this one is spacing 250. Okay, that of the 250 is the bottom, and then that of 300 is the top reinforcement successfully. So this, if you come over here, because we've chosen the bulb left and right, so you can now see the reinforcement the way it being returns. Just you can see right there. So as well, you can be able to give this length, return length, because this is a kind of default length. Okay, so this bulb you can adjust it depending on what you want. If you want it to be 100, you want it to be 150, you can key it in both left and right as well, and the software will actually use it successfully. All right, so this is in the Y directions, and this is top and bottom reinforcement successfully. So I'm just using it to actually show you how it works effectively, and then I want to be getting right of this, and then we'll start the main detailing using only the bottom reinforcement successfully. So I will be closing this slab strips dialog, and then I will have to select these slab strips X1 Y1 right there, and then I delete it from here. So to get rid of all the slab strips successfully, I will get back to slab strips again, and then I will get to the type right there, and then manual strips. This time around I will uncheck top bottom, top steel, okay, rather. So we are going to use only bottom strips, okay. Bottom steel is what we're going to be using. So we now have to work with the spacing. Okay, so we take the spacing to the 300, and then we will confirm the directions we are going. Okay, let's say we are going to the Y directions right there first, then get back to the manual. All right, to the Y directions, we are having it to be we have it to be discontinuous in both sides. So since you have it to be discontinuous in both sides, what you just need to do, we wouldn't want it to be bob because we wouldn't want it to return. All right, so this reinforcement basically are placed at the neutral axis of the reinforced concrete slab. Okay, those of my students actually we actually understood what I'm trying to say. Okay, but I know that as an engineer you also know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so where there will be no need returning, it all depends on how you want to have your design done successfully. Okay, so you cannot have to bob it both left and right because it is discontinuous, both up, okay, and down of the vertical directions of the reinforced concrete slab. Okay, so you can assign a length of 600. It should be returned at 600, or can be returned at 100. Okay, right, in that directions and 100 in these directions. Okay, but if you did not give this this return length, it is the software is going to use the default length, okay, which is about 125 thereabout. Okay, so after which we are going in the vertical directions. Pick the first point, take your hand upwards or the control key to have a straight line and click to place the reinforcement. So you can now see what we have here. Y8 at spacing 300 right there. Okay, spanning from this point to this point. So this point right here is the expansion joint point. Okay, so we have successfully done this. You can see the returns here. This is the 100 millimeters right there, which we key in these provisions. So now we want to be going through the horizontal direction, which is the X direction. So you get back to the general tab right there and change this direction to X. Okay, right there, get to the manual. Okay, so you have this. Okay, so in this case now we going to the left is continuous, and then going to the right is discontinuous. So you have to select here and check these provisions. Okay, because to the left is continuous, so we'll be having a lap length. Okay, we just key in 700 as a lap length right there. Okay, I will show you this shortly. So this is going to be returned, going to be right because it is discontinuous. All right, so what now I have to do, pick this point, take all the way to this point, and then straighten it and place that. So you can now see that if you come over here, you see a returns of 100, which is this one. Okay, and then over here you can see this is the expansion joint line, right? So we now have this extension of 700, which we key in the left extension provisions right here. Okay, so now we are done with designing this particular panel. Over to this panel. All right, so this panel now, if you are going in the horizontal direction, you will actually notice that both left and right are actually continuous. Okay, because you have slab here, you also have slab that way. So what you didn't do is uncheck these provisions. We didn't have that. What you just have to change here is this 100 to 700 lap length. Okay, for both sides. Okay, so after which come over to these provisions. Okay, so you notice you are supposed to use boundary conditions, but when you are using manual slab design in Protastructure, there is no need for boundary conditions. So you can see all of the boundary conditions options right here are inactive. Okay, so get back right there, or make sure that you feed in all what is necessary, very correct in these particular provisions, and you proceed. Okay, so now we are going to be starting from this point. We select that point all the way to this point, and then hold the control key and click, so you can now see what we are having right there. Okay, so over here is the lap length, so this is going to lap with this for continuity. All right, and the same thing here. So coming over to this other slab, what you just have to do is, we know from the left of that slab horizontally, we have it to be discontinued. So you have to select discontinuity, and then you change this to 100. Okay, returns, after which we will have to now pick from the outside right there, straighten your hand and click right here, so you can now see the 700 continuity okay, to the right, and then this other side is 100, okay, being returned successfully. So spanning from this point to this point in the vertical direction. So after which you have to come over here, change the directions to the Y direction, get back to manual, all right, and then you also have to check that we have discontinuity in the vertical direction. So we have to select these provisions and change here to, this is 100, after which you pick this point up right there and then come all the way down and then hold the control key and then have a straight line and click. So you can now see we have the reinforcement in the vertical directions, which is spanning through the horizontal directions. The same thing will be applicable in these provisions. Okay, so hold the control key and select it just like this. Alright, so you can now see that we have successfully designed this slab on grade, okay, for this warehouse design. Okay, so this is how you can use a manual type of slab design in Protastructure. Mind you, this Protastructure is version 2022. Okay, so if you need a kind of a template, there is a template for reinforced concrete standard detailed drawings after Protastructure. Okay, and these templates are found in the description of this video, so you can check it out. Get one to fast track your detailing, just as we have done like this with the help of the template. It will help you to make your drawing looks very, very nice and readable in AutoCAD successfully. So we are done with this detailing. So close the dialog and click on save. So having saved the project, as well navigate to the 3D. So this is a portal frame, okay, and the design is successful. Okay, so if you have any question, don't forget to drop it in the comment sections, and then there's a link in the description of this video where you can join our group chat to also ask any question that bothers you. Alright, so thank you for staying through these presentations, and then we'll see in the next presentation. Stay tuned, stay safe, and God bless you. Bye for now.